This is going to be Shattered Halls as a Mistweaver monk. Level 71. Let's see, I had just leveled to 70 and gotten Revival, so I have that on my bar now. So Shattered Halls is Burning Crusade dungeon, kind of the third in the series of Hellfire Citadel dungeons, after Hellfire Ramparts and the Blood Furnace. This is always a pretty exciting dungeon. It's a cool place. Fun one to go through every time I go through Burning Crusade dungeons. I see a Protection Paladin there. Other party members still zoning in, picking up quests and stuff. Some sort of shaman, looks like elemental. Some sort of death knight, I think. Can't tell what kind. And what's the bottom one? A mage or warlock or something? Looks like a mage, okay. So only 3 people are participating in this battle right now, but the rest will catch up eventually, I imagine. Oh, those had somewhere to be. They were running off after somebody who was not the tank, and also wasn't me. Oh, now it's me. I should watch what this paladin does very closely, because I'm playing a protection paladin now, and figuring out things about how to play one. I'll show that eventually, not today though. So right, Revival, that's my most significant new ability in a while. On my number 8 slot. I saw a Thunder Focus T happening. Yeah, so damage in here tends to be kinda heavy. I have to pay attention here. This is not an easy dungeon. Right, so Revival. It is an instant cast which restores everyone's health in the party instantly for not insignificant but not huge amounts, maybe like 15-20%, somewhere around there, and also removes all poisons, diseases, and poison, disease, and magic effects, harmful ones. So it's Dispel and like 1 instant Vivify on everybody all at once. Has like a 2-minute cooldown or something. So you can't hit it very often, but it's a real good button to have when things are going real bad for everybody at once. So Life Cocoon is the button I want to press. I was standing way in that corner to make sure everything, if I had any threat, it would all come to the place where the tank wanted it, because I could tell what he was trying to do. So yeah, I want to save Life Cocoon for situations when I have one party member who's about to die and I need to press a bunch of buttons at once. Life Cocoon makes sure they live through my button presses until they start actually taking effect. Revival takes the pressure off a little bit if there's party-wide damage. And is also neat if I just need a second Dispel, and I know I won't be needing it at other times because Detox has a cooldown on it. I can't just remove everybody's magic effects real quick. I have to do them one by one and wait a while in between. So yeah, Revival. Good ability, not like super amazing, but definitely a nice tool to have in my toolbox. I'll watch and see if I actually use it. Just like Life Cocoon, it's not a button I press very often. Okay, so I see Life Cocoon is off the global cooldown. It doesn't do that little clock effect when I use any other ability here. Alright. There's a bunch of talking in here. Yeah, so Shattered Halls is kind of like a big gauntlet hallway. Fell orcs come at you, constantly trying to halt your progress. Kind of just have to keep moving and fighting your way through. It's neat. Hey, Essence Font is on 5? Okay, I'm not used to that. I end up moving it elsewhere. There are, I think, basically 2 more abilities I'll end up getting that I'll keep on my healing bar. Right, I have Ring of Peace there on my equal key, and I haven't ended up using it yet. That won't be until Cataclysm Dungeons before I learn to really do anything with that. That's an even rarer one. That's probably the button that I have that I press least frequently. But I do still want it on my healing bar, because when I want it in a hurry. I want to know exactly where it is. It's a super cool ability, just, like, hard to know when to use and how to use. Just the situations where it's super cool don't come up all that often. But when they do, it's great. So right, end of the first little hallway. There's some kind of, like, closed door here or something. We can't go straight through to where we want to be and have to take a weird detour through some sewers or something. Okay, that's an Arcane Mage. Arcane Mage, Elemental Shaman, and... How do you tell the Death Knight types apart? Obviously it's not Blood, because... Not in a tank role. I just don't know at a glance how to tell Unholy from Frost. Seems like most of the ones I see these days play Unholy. Is there a minion? I think I just saw him raise one. Yes, I think that means Unholy? I don't know. I haven't played a Death Knight in a while. And when I did, it was always Frost or Blood. Never really gave Unholy much of a try. I hear it's good. I just don't know much about it. Yeah, so you jump down to the sewer here. There are slimy things. This is a really strange detour. I think there's some door up there that leads to the place we want to be that's closed, and it will open once we go through the sewers. So if you want to go back through the dungeon, which I might be doing, then you can, because we had to jump down to get here. So I currently could not walk from here back to the start of the dungeon, I think. Alright, so climb out of the sewers. The slime slowed me down, that's what happened. Yikes. Well, those voice clips were not planned out well. Grand Warlock Nethercurse has many voices and he uses them all at once. I think he's commentating on his minions dying. But he starts doing it before we even interact with him. That's silly. This game is full of all this little jank like that. It's not the most polished game, but I don't know. It's good at what it does. It just doesn't try to be everything at once. So there's a quest objective here in this room. I see a little blue glowy on my minimap. I'm not currently paying attention to my quest objectives. Because as usual, you know, I can't just stop and read them. I gotta pick them up and immediately start doing stuff, because somebody in the group of 5 people... I don't want to stand in that. So I moved. In the group of 5 people, random group of strangers who gets together to do a dungeon, there's almost always going to be somebody who just goes immediately. And honestly, when I'm playing the tank, it's me. I don't really wait for much of anything. We'll be seeing that whenever it happens. Yeah, so people are doing stuff up here. I can see that there's a quest objective. Paladins run off ahead there. So I don't have any time to try to figure out what's going on with the quest there. Everybody else is trying to. But as the healer, it's most important that I stay with him. I can't reach him from here. I already used both my rolls and my Tiger's Lust. Okay, I'm in range now. So the archers have taken notice of me, I think. That's why my nameplate turned red there. Other people are slowly catching up. Hopefully they figured out what they had to do in that room. So yeah, as soon as archers form up, something gets yelled out. So we've started some kind of gauntlet event here. I don't really know the mechanics here super well. I just know that there's some reason to try and keep moving in this hallway. Like maybe enemies replenish and never run out or something. I don't know what happens if you just take your time here. Those Shattered Hand Zealots did look like they kind of just came out of nowhere, so I assume they just replenish infinitely. Until you get to the end and kill these. That's a weird-looking staff that I'm using. Oh, right, there are these stealthed Shattered Hand Assassins here, so walk into the wrong spot and they'll stun you for a while and start stabbing. Then you have to kill them. Just like these little invisible traps hidden around the place. More quest objectives here, on the left and right. There's some dudes we want to kill. Paladin's gone straight down the middle, so I'm hoping he'll notice that and pull the stuff on the left and right. Replacement quickly, yeah, so they're bringing in more dudes to replace the ones we kill. I think we're still in some sort of gauntlet here. Deciding whether to take the time to go to the side now or not, I think. Considering! Okay, we're doing it. You can tell by body language what he was thinking about. Man, these heavy hits in here. It looks like I'm not really having the easiest time keeping his health topped off. It's not really dropping below half, but it's not getting topped off very much when combat is going on. Let's see, there was probably a... Yeah, okay, we already killed all the Shattered Hand Legionnaires we need to kill, but we still need another Centurion, apparently. So one more of these little pockets of orcs and we should be done, I guess. So the Centurion's probably the one in the middle in black. I'm sure we'll get to it. Hey, a little bit of downtime for me to actually do some attacks. That hasn't been happening much in here. And it's over. Shattered Hand Champion. Okay, so those just happen up here, apparently. Maybe there are more Centurions later. Okay, so Shattered Hand Champion. Great. Gonna go back for Centurion. Excellent. So he noticed. Knows exactly what's going on. Something I've been having trouble with is finding time to type any message at all when I'm playing as the group leader. Because I get really zero downtime. As a healer, I occasionally have downtime, so if I have to communicate something, there's a good time to do it. Same thing in a damage dealer role. But as the tank, that time is a lot harder to find. I can take it, but, you know, that just looks like my character either standing still or, you know, auto-running forward and maybe running into stuff while I take the time to type out messages. Like, it's not like I'm a slow typer or anything, but I guess I'm kind of verbose. I like to, I don't know. Like to put all the letters and words and stuff. Be very specific about what I mean. But I don't know. I don't talk that much in dungeons, but that's changing. I'm getting more comfortable with actually saying stuff and trying to coordinate things. And also just to, like, saying one or two things can help kind of set the mood. If there's any communication going on and it's not negative, then, I don't know, I feel like the whole group is happier and just feels a little more connected to each other. So sometimes I'll do just a little bit of small talk just to kind of put everybody at ease. So two-headed ogre boss here. I don't remember what he does. Is there... I feel like there's either like a mind control or fear mechanic with this dude, but maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. Warbringer Omrog. Okay, so there's target switching, that's what it is. He decided he did not like me, so I'm just sitting and healing myself until he changes his mind and pays attention to threat levels again. There is fear, okay. I think the only hazard you can be feared into here if you're fighting like in the middle of his arena is the Shattered Hand Assassins. So they are around. You can find those little invisible mines around here. I don't think anybody happened upon one. Someone clicked the map by accident. Or maybe on purpose?
Your fault. I hate you.
It's the ogre's two heads have some infighting at the end. So coming up in the end of the dungeon, I do see a yellow question mark on my mini-map. So quest turning point is either there now or will be soon. There's a UI bug where if I roll over debuffs highlighted on party frames there, like that poison effect, it about like half the time, pretty often, shows me just completely the wrong tooltip. So I don't get to see the description of this. I think I've mentioned this before. I don't get to see an accurate description of what the debuff is. Oh, he found an assassin, or an assassin found him. And it found me too. Man, all these stuns. These are things that rogues, like player rogues, can actually do. So they're using player abilities against... Man, we found 3 of them in this hallway. Quite a minefield. Yeah, anyway, so if I want to know exactly what a debuff is, sometimes I have to look at the icon, click the target, find that same icon in their debuff list, and then read the tooltip there. Because in the target display it's always accurate, but in the party frame it's not. Alright, so really just one hallway between the last 2 bosses. Here's the last dude. War Chief Kargath Bladefist. He has a blade for a fist, maybe both of them. Yeah, looks like both of them.
I am called Bladefist for a reason. As you will see.
I can see from here. How do you do anything other than fight? Just doesn't seem like you'd be able to function in life. So that's why he stands here all day and fights adventurers who come in. Oh, he summons extra dudes to come in. Right, there's a signature attack. Dashes around, whirling his fist blades. That's a lot nastier on heroic. I remember that attack being, like, really seriously scary. Like, that is the thing that will kill you in here, if anything will. But nothing will on normal, pretty much. If you're, you know, paying attention and prepared for dungeons in general. There we go. Okay, quest giver coming. Sorry, I talked over his burbling. I have no idea what he just said. Alright, so I got 3 to turn in, and 1 more. Somebody's crying for some reason. Very loudly. Cloak upgrade, that's nice. Level up, that's nice too. Alright, so Fell Embers, or whatever. Fell Ember. I do not have that. So that's what I was trying to figure out in Grand Warlock Nethercurse's room. So I go back for it. Everybody else leaves the party. I'm over here just fiddling around trying to figure out what it is that it wants me to get here, because it's nothing on the ground. It's not the 2 braziers there. So eventually I poke through my inventory. The quest description didn't help much. So I got this Grand Warlock's amulet. So you have to actually use that item, dig it out of your inventory. Most quests like this put an icon for that item next to the quest, so you can just click it there in the on-screen quest log thing. This one did not. So I see the question mark on the big map at the beginning of the dungeon. Run all the way back there. There's nobody here. It says question mark in the minimap, but no. So turn around, go all the way back to the end, where I was. And I step on a mine on the way there. So there's still a Shattered Hand Assassin alive here in Warbringer Olmrog's arena, or whatever he was called, the 2-headed ogre. So I gotta solo this dungeon elite with my party members already gone. Fortunately, I have pretty good tools to do that. Like, as a healer, I'm not gonna kill things very fast, but unless you somehow manage to run me out of mana, I'm not gonna die. Like, huge burst damage, or long stuns, or a serious enough challenge to actually run me out of mana is the only thing that's gonna kill me. So I won't kill you very fast, but I'll get there eventually. Anyway, yeah, so fortunately that's not too far from the end of the dungeon. So the dude also shows up on the minimap here. It's weird that the question mark shows up in both places. Just another oddity of the way this game is put together. Alright, so who is this? Stone Guard Stockton? I don't know who you are, but you're the dude in this dungeon who hands out quests. Alright, cool. Hey, 250 quests, isn't that nice? And I got an upgrade. Alright, that was Shattered Halls. See you for the next one.